Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, 6'10" versus 7 foot versus 7'2". We have build battles returning. Today is the center edition, so I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new to the noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to win 500 likes. Now, in today's video, we're going over a fun build, a comp build, and then the absolute pro-am meta. All three of them are very good options if you ask me. I think the 6'10" is a very big sleeper too though, but we'll detail how I want to rank all of them versus each other 1 through 3 at the end of the video. We're just going to go over the pros and cons of each of the builds, hash them out between each other. You guys can leave your feedback in the comments as to which one you want to vouch the hardest for. And again, we're going to just hash this stuff out. Every build is ironically 2 inches apart from each other, 6'10" to 7 foot to 7'2". So again, we're going to go over all this stuff in today's vid. Hope y'all enjoy. And we're going to start from left to right in terms of detailing all of these. All right, so to start us off, we have the 6'10", 220 on the weight, 7'8" wingspan. This is the only build that you're going to see that isn't metric glitched. And I got to say, this is the one that I created very recently, and I love this build. I absolutely love it. I only have exactly what is seen on the screen right here with every attribute. So I have 84 driving dunk, 80 driving layup, 84 close shot, which some people would think is a little bit low for the mashing, but it's enough for gold grace under pressure. As you can see, you still get things like gold mouse in the house, so I think this is pretty reasonable. The finishing badge count is a little bit low at 26, but you have the ability to shoot with 76 three-pointer, 67 free throw, plenty enough to shoot them with. And I gotta say, some people probably dislike the 70 pass accuracy as far as my build went, and you would be a little bit skeptical of this. And honestly, another thing that people probably doubt with it is the break starter being only silver. Now, if I could go back and change this, I maybe would put this to 71 for the sake of gold break starter, but I will say it's hard to budget all the playmaking badges anyway when the pass accuracy is this low. So if you want to go ahead and just edit the build a little bit and you wanted to go for that 85 pass accuracy, it would be pretty reasonable just for more playmaking badges. It would be nice to have that, but I have plenty enough for 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. For pro-am, I do think it is enough as well. I haven't seen the break starter be a complete nuisance or a complete problem to the build, and 70 pass accuracy has definitely been getting the job done for me. 70 ball handle as well. You get plenty good dribble animations when it comes to this. 50 speed with ball. You could have more with this as well as acceleration if you want to really optimize the build's dribbling ability, but I personally feel like I have everything I need with it, honestly. I mean, I don't have to 3-hunt with this build. You're still able to get driving contact dunks, elite big man standing dunks as well, mind you, and all of that tied in together makes the right stick dunking a real pain for people to defend. And on top of that, gold brick wall, 75 perimeter defense. You actually get silver ankle braces as well. You don't get clamps at 6'10". You could glitch metric this build right here, but it won't get the big man contact dunks, but it would allow you to get clamps, I think probably around silver, to be honest with you. But anyway, with this build specifically, like I said, we achieve all of the exact thresholds. So for instance, gold brick wall, gold interceptor, gold rebound chaser, all that stuff is literally just achieved exactly enough. And the physicals aren't exactly great, to be honest with you. 73 speed, 63 strength, 84 vertical. You're actually going to see the 7-footer that I showcase has better physicals than this for whatever reason as far as speed and vertical go. Now realistically, it's because I have to upgrade the weight a little bit on this build to be able to get things like gold brick wall for the 88 interior defense and 91 rebounding for obviously gold rebound chaser. But all that included, what's really weird is you look at these ratings, right? I didn't invest that much into shooting or playmaking. You could see as far as the badge count goes, you only have 14 and 12 in both these two categories, but ironically, the build actually does get sharp and play takeover. And for me, I have been loving Team Takeover Boost as a pick and roller on Team Pro-Am. So pretty much with this takeover, this is a very special thing that actually makes this build really good from a competitive standpoint, just mind you as well. So what this does is, as you can see by the description of it, boosts the progress of each of your teammates' takeover meters when activated. So when you pop your takeover right here, no matter if you're passing them the ball or not, it doesn't matter. They can literally just do it even without you passing them the ball. Your point guard can score, and if he has like double sharp take or something like that, or just even sharp play, whatever the case may be, him scoring is going to allow him to get takeover even faster, and it's crazy how much faster it is. Or let's say because I'm playing at the 4 and I'm the pick and roll guy and I'm still playing hedge, I have my boy Tonic at the 5 playing with his 7'3", and he gets a lot of rebounds and stuff like that too. So if he runs double glass take and I have this activated, he might even be able to get our whole team takeover because I'm running team takeover boost, which allows him to get it faster as well. So overall, it's a really crazy thing to have as a role player, and if you want to play as a role player, this is still a really cool thing, as well as the fact that you can come out here with it active, and you could be pretty much on some Draymond Green stuff. You can be a play initiator with the ball in your hands. You have solid ball handle and ability to get yourself open on drives, or just to shoot the 3 when you're open, stuff like that. long story short, you can do whatever you want with this build. It's so fun, so versatile. You can still run glass and rim takeover as well. And again, sharp is another option as well. And in that situation too, you actually could run double sharp take with juice. You have 76 3-pointer, you add 21 to that. And as you can see, if you add 21 3-pointer to this, you are looking at 97 3-pointer when it's active. And same thing with ball handle. You could have 91 ball handle when active, and you could even still go a little bit higher on the ball handle speed with ball if you want this. Anyway, that's pretty much my little summary on the build, if you will. I really don't think you need post control by any means with this. I also don't think you really need mid-range or the Hall of Fame sniper. You can definitely still shoot with only gold sniper. I will say it'd probably be a whole lot easier for me to do that, but honestly, not the biggest deal in the world. But anyway, now let's go to comp version of the 6'10". So with this, we can see the 7-footer right here. Now I want to let you guys see the physicals first and foremost. That's what we're really going to detail and focus on right here. And as you can see, this build is taller, like actually even taller, and still has one more speed and one more vertical, yet it's 2 inches taller. So that is definitely a crazy thing when it comes to this build. It ends up still getting 75 steal and 71 perimeter defense. You can see we don't get ankle braces though because this is height capped. So yes, it is a little bit inconvenient that we don't get this, but it is still a really good build. I have both of these myself, and I absolutely love both of them. These are probably my 2 favorite builds in the game, the 7-footer and the 6'10". And this one I didn't exactly create. I made the 7-footer as an inside, so I have 93 close shot, but I have 99 standing dunk. You do not get driving contact dunk packages though. You need 84 for that, and this build just cannot achieve it. I haven't found anything like that. Nobody has left in the comments or anything like that. Nobody's posted any screenshots on Twitter of showing me a 7-foot build that actually gets 84 driving dunk. It's just not a thing to my knowledge. So with this build, you can see it's pretty much light version of the offensive side of things when it comes to the 6'10". It doesn't get the good dribble packages like a 6'10" does. It doesn't get quite as much 3-pointer. It doesn't get quite as much driving dunk, but it is still pretty much the same thing on the offensive end, just minus driving contact dunks and a little bit less ball handle. But defensively, this is so elite. Like, I cannot even stress enough how crazy it is to be 7 feet tall with 74 speed, 85 vertical, and just in general, you're just bigger. Obviously, it's easier to play rebounds. It's easier to get shot blocks, chase down blocks, stuff like that. Again, you're taller, faster, stronger. I mean, actually not stronger, ironically, but either way, you get the deal. I mean, it's just overall better when it comes to physicals than the 6'10" is. For whatever reason, I really couldn't tell you why. But anyway, takeover options on this one are going to be sharp, rim, and glass. And I know it's a little bit of a short explanation on that build, but overall, it's pretty much the same exact thing as a 6'10", just less offensive, more defensive. Think of it that way, where you're just getting taller and longer wingspan, yet not losing any physicals at all, still gaining on defense as far as like shot blocking and rebounding ability goes, just because of your height and wingspan. And then just in general, yes, you do lose ankle braces, but that's not really the biggest deal. You still get the gold brick wall. Yes, you lose the driving contact dunk packages, but you have even more mashing ability with just the higher close shot rating, or just in general being taller with mouse in the house and grace under pressure both going at a higher level as well. And just in general, you can still shoot with the build too. Now mind you, this is a glitch metric 7-foot right here. Ironically, all you have to do, I'm just explain it to you guys as simple as this. You go into the metric system, you go all the way up on the height for a 7-foot power forward, and then come 1 tick down. So you're like 6'11" and 3/4 pretty much. So I believe the height is 2.12 for the metric if you want to check it out. If you want, I made a video on every single metric build in the game. This one included right here, and the 7.2 that we're about to showcase included as well. So feel free to check that out. It was about a week ago. It's just LakerFan, every metric build in the game. Simple as that. Search it. You can like find the tutorial on how to actually create these 2 builds right here. Anyway, moving along, we have the 7.2 meta center build when it comes to the 5v5 game, whether it be rec or pro-am, anything involved. I mean, comp matchups, ranked pro-am, rec included as well, all that stuff. This build is really, really good. So 7'2", 235 in the weight, 8-foot wingspan. We're going to showcase this build with shooting, but mind you, it only has 10 shooting badges and 73 3-pointer. I'm having a little bit of a hard time sometimes trying to shoot the ball on my 6'10" that only has 3-pointer with 77, and it's not that it's really hard to do. I just think I'm not really the best shooter in the game, to be honest with you. So you guys could probably still manage to shoot the ball plenty fine with 73 3-pointer. It's not going to be super reliable, but it will still be enough to knock it down. I mean, you are going to be able to run silver corner specialist and bronze catch and shoot still. It's literally the same badge count that I have, and then still have silver hot zone and gold sniper. I would recommend to put a couple extra shooting badges into the build though. As you can see, running corner is going to cost you 3, catch and shoot 4, hot zone hunter is going to be 7, and then adding sniper on as well is literally going to be 12. So obviously you're going to have to at least add 2 shooting badges to the build. And if you want to run things like bronze deadeye and bronze blinders, then you're going to have like 4 extra shooting badges. So you definitely want to put some of your extra badge points onto the shooting. But either way, 74 driving dunk actually is the max, and it gets you just enough to get silver limitless takeoff for the quick drops off 1. That's super important. We're gonna go with a little bit of post control on this one. I don't think it's really important to do, but 65 does get you silver drop stepper and bronze back down punisher. I think it's pretty reasonable to go for this. And again, there's driving dunk, pretty much everything you want when it comes to something that's not contact dunk packages. 93 close shot, enough for Hall of Fame mouse in the house and grace under pressure. Simple as that. It's really all you need when it comes to paint mashing. And the fact that you are 7-2 does get really glitchy. Mind you, the point of being 7-2 glitch metric like this is to get 90 standing dunk to get the elite big man contact dunk packages. You still retain having the 99 defensive rebound for the Hall of Fame rebound chaser, and you have 75 vertical, which once again is what you need to get the elite big man contact dunk packages. You have to have at least 75 vert. So all this included, it equals a really glitchy build. I mean, 98 block, you get Hall of Fame rim protector. Obviously, I went with the 60 steal rating just for silver interceptor. Literally as simple as that. I don't think you really need that much more. To be honest with you, I would advocate for upgrading your perimeter defense all the way. You don't want to be a hedge guy in like park or anything like that, or just in general be guarding the corner with 0 perimeter defense. That's just not a good idea if you ask me. 95 interior defense for Hall of Fame brick wall. Obviously, it's everything you need when it comes to being a center build. You don't have ball handle, you don't have speed with ball, so obviously in the fun factor, this isn't quite as much as you would want, but its physicals are still pretty good. 65 speed and 75 vertical for a 7-2 build. It is still really glitchy, to be honest with you guys. This really is a really good build. So, as far as the takeover options go, you only get rim and glass. Like I said though, I mean, I don't like to promote this too much, but the takeover glitch is a thing right now. I made a video on this and why I think it's a bad thing and it needs to get patched, but it is what it is. So let's rank them. How do I feel about them in a competitive sense, 1 through 3? Overall, I think that the 7-2 is the best competitive build when it comes to actual comp pro-am. If we're talking for 3v3 though, in a competitive situation where you maybe have good guards that you're playing with, I still think a 7-footer is probably the best just because of the speed and the physicals that you get with it, and just the fact that you're more versatile on defense. The 7-2, it's debatable. I don't really think you're meant to be guarding point guards out there off a switch on pick and roll. You're a little bit too slow. The mismatch expert does kind of go crazy on you. I think 7-footer is the perfect height when it comes to being a center on the 3v3 court. So for playing the 3, I think 7-footer is the move. So from a pro-am sense, 7-2 is the meta. From a park sense, I think 7-foot is the meta. Now, where does 6'10" fit in? I think this is actually a really good 2v2 build. You don't see a lot of people come out here with 7'2" centers or 7'3" centers anymore on 2s. So being undersized can still get away with really easily. And on top of that too, what you generally see is double ISO, whether it's 2 6'9s or a 6'7" and a 6'9", or a 6'5" point guard and a 6'9". The list goes on and on. You are generally going to be one of the taller people on the court at 6'10". So I think you could totally get away with running this build on the 2v2 and generally just be one of the better builds. I mean, the build is so versatile. It can shoot, it can driving dunk, it can standing dunk. The contact dunk meter goes crazy on this. The ball handling ability is still a thing. Your versatility as an offensive and defensive player just goes crazy on this. You can still guard ISO really well. You can guard big men pretty well as well with 88 interior defense and Hall of Fame rim protector, really good interior defense badges still. And just in general, the build is so clean when it comes to the versatility on offense and defense. So to wrap things up, let's just go ahead and give an actual overview in terms of which I think is the best. I think overall 7-2 just has to be the best just because of the comp sense of 5v5 pro-am. It just makes sense and it still fits in really well for 2v2 and 3v3. It's not that it's extinct. It definitely isn't the meta for park, but I think it's still really good. Like, it's right there. These 3 builds are just by far the best in my opinion on the game. You could make a case for running the 6'9" metric at the big man spot in park, but overall, obviously, it doesn't fit at the 5 when it comes to 5v5 pro-am. It generally fits pretty well at the 4 when it comes to comp pro-am, and even in the rec as well, probably. I mean, you could generally play power forward with that. If you wanted though, 7-foot does fit in really good at the power forward as well. I played on this myself. I played on this in the rec with my like random, not randoms, but the old heads that I play pro-am with. And we play rec center. I play on both these builds right here. It's a pretty fun time. But anyway, again, to rank these, 7-2 equals best, 7-foot equals next best, and then I think 6'10" isn't really the best in comparison to either of those 2 builds. But again, the fun factor of it is definitely there. This is a really fun build. I highly recommend it to anybody. And there's also something to be said about the fact that it's not glitch metric. I mean, even if the metric glitch wasn't a thing in this game, this would still be one of the best builds in the game if you ask me at 6'10". So I apologize too. I was sleeping on 6'10s from the beginning of the year. I actually hated on it. I was like, yo, 6'10 is like one of the worst heights in the game. Why would you ever make something like this when you could just make a 7-foot metric? And I didn't take into account the fact that driving contact dunks and still 70 ball handle is so key, while still having 91 rebounding, still having really good perimeter defense, stuff like that, not lacking your physicals too much. So overall, I think this is still a really good build, but it's definitely third best in comparison to these two. They're just seen as more of a meta. Now, last thing before I go, I will say the 6'10 definitely is something where if you play with people that aren't as good on offense and you don't play with really good guards or just in general people who can carry the offensive load, I think there is something to be said about a 6'10 over a 7-footer. This really can carry the offensive load if you're good enough with it. That's how I feel. You can score consistently 16 to 18 points per game in the 2v2, or consistently score like around 12 to 14 on 3v3. As long as you have the ball in your hands enough and you're doing enough with it, I generally do think that this can actually carry the offensive load. I don't feel that way about the 7-footer or the 7-2, to be honest with you. Now, yes, you could come out here with the 7-2 and run post scoring stuff, but I just feel like it's not efficient enough. I think you can get the ball stripped. I think pogo stick can get the best of you when it comes to mashing sometimes. And if you match up with taller people, yes, I understand paint mashing is easy, but you kind of need pick and roll to get in the right situations with it. If you're a 7'3" center and you have max weight, yeah, sure, you're probably going to dominate a build like this at the 7 foot, 235 in the weight, but you're going to struggle so bad in pick and roll defense or ISO defense on twos and all types of stuff like that. But anyway, I'm rambling. We'll go ahead and just kind of close out the video right here. So like I said, 7'2", really good for Pro-Am, 7 foot, really good for park, and then 6'10", really good for fun and can still carry the offensive load as well if you play with people that aren't quite as good on offense or just in general, maybe taller builds that can't create their shot quite as well. So anyway, that's all video. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave your feedback as well. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are as far as which one is the best, which one is the worst, or if I missed anything, or if you think the 6'9" metric build plays the big man spot in park even better than all of these builds just because of Hall of Fame interceptor, driving contact dunks, stuff like that, the ability to create your own shot, 3-point, whatever the case may be. As a pick and popper, if you have some thoughts of the 6'9", maybe being in this discussion of the top 3 big men builds in the game, feel free to leave that. So anyway, that's all video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you made it to the end, put center or put your favorite one in the comments. Just whatever height it is that is your favorite, and just leave it at that. So anyway, that's all video. Try to 500 likes. And on that, take it easy, man. Peace.